Going to show you how to use Selkie Tech's features for the first time. If you're a first-time user, you just go to Selkie Tech or to any one of the sub-websites, such as like this, and then you'll cache vector weather. You can log in. If you don't have an account, it doesn't matter. It'll automatically create an account for you. The easiest way is with Google, and I'm going to use this vector weather user 1 that hasn't used Selkie Tech before. So this is the experience of an account that has never seen it. Okay, so when you're a first-time user, you get into a helper script that helps you set up your boat. So let's say we want to plan a passage. And what kind of boat? Let's say it's a Cal 30. And I know that there's a Cal 30 listed on there. All right, and so you'll notice on the right side, there's all of the characteristics that I have in the database for the Cal 30. What's missing is the anchor and the road. So that does match the name, yes. And then we can add it here, or we can add it elsewhere. An anchor is 20-pound Danforth. And then the name, I have, and let's say I have a 150 feet of 3/8 BBB chain and 150 feet of 3/8 inch nylon 3-strand rope. The boat name is, let's say it's Fidelista 1. All right, and then once all the variables are in here, you can just go down here and you save the boat and you pick a location for the route plan. And now that takes you to the route planning interface. Now there's the vessel, Fidelista 1, and you can pick a departure time. Let's pick off the calendar pick list. Let's say we're going to pick today at, let's see, 3 p.m. And we're going to go from, let's say we're going to go from Deep Cove. I'm actually going to maximize this right here. And we're going to go from Deep Cove up to, let's say we're going to go all the way up to Berg's Landing. All right. Excuse me. And you'll notice the speed in here has been automatically picked from the system. And let's say we're going to motor on all of these just to keep it simple, because it's an inlet. Inlet's a little harder to power through. And so forth. If you had picked a sail profile, you would get it would apply the sail pullers on you, and so there we go like this, and then we'll save the route. Okay, and it's calculating. You click on weather, and that shows you the route. Like this. There you go. And then you can pick on any segment. And what you're seeing here is all the legs are green, which means there's no weather concerns and there's no wave concerns. Now, for this particular run, we don't expect any wave concerns. Now, in some of them, you'll notice you get just a simple card that says good. That's because there's really nothing to report on here. And in some of them, like here, you'll get actually something else, and you get a vector card. And when you get a vector card, it means that you have some things to consider. And here, what you're having to consider is the wind, current. So there's a little bit of wind on this one is all, 8 knots, as whereas the other ones you'll see there's less. Now, if you zoom out back to here, you can also access this. Oh, I know what I've done. There's something that I did here. I only took two measurements on this. I'll show you. If we recalculate this like this, you can pick the cadence. And I picked a 3-hour cadence, and it's not a 3-hour run. Let's do a 15-minute cadence. That means it's going to take a measurement every 15 minutes. And now if you look on the status here, you can see the status goes from the round dot, which is calm, and then to SOS box, which is dangerous. And the check mark is just a little bit of wind. So here you can see the current information on here. There's basically no current to worry about. There's a very, very small current. It's not enough to mark. And you can see the times. Then you can expect to get like where you'll get along the journey. And then when you click on here, you can see, oh, it's a little harder to see, but I'll zoom here a little bit. You'll see it better. When you mouse over, you see the blinking segments, which are telling you what to do. And over here, you see that calm to good to caution to rough to dangerous on the legs. And then if you zoom in, you can see everything is different versions of green on this run. So a little bit of wind coming out of Deep Cove, and then it's calm for a while, and then a little breeze again, and then it's calm, and then you have a little bit of breeze again, and then you get to here. All right. Now there are some other features on this tool on the map that I'll point out. I'll zoom in to show you. Zoom in. So if you you can turn on the bottom hydrography, so you can see that you're actually traveling over deep water. Anywhere you can click, and then you can pick the information you want to get for that area. Let's say depth and observations. And this is the information here. You can also get the forecast for that place. A handy aspect of the hydrography is that it really does show you if you're going to be near any hazards that are underwater and surface effects. So that's very handy. Now, something to consider, and you'll notice this if you use the tool, is in different regions, different regions have different level of quality. And you'll see that there's here the Canadian bathymetry is very fine. This is a 10 by 10 meter box, and it's extremely reliable and it's very well done. But in some areas, it's actually 100 by 100 meter box, which is nowhere near as reliable. All right, you can also get to the area. So now here, what you're seeing is actually the topology superimposing itself on top of the bathymetry data, and the so these are the large squares, for example. So the topology is in large squares. I'm going to turn off the hydro now. You can also access the encoded chart data, but you'll see they're really kind of messy. There's a number of symbols on here that are designed to remind you that this is not navigational data, but they are actually navigation charts. So you can, if you're willing to put up with the noise of all these little symbols they add, everything else is accurate on there. Okay, so I will leave that alone and point you to the information. Like here's a piece of information right there. Now notice it's in a weird place, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. So this says, oops, sorry. This would be a weather observation. So this is a Deep Cove weather observation, and its datum right here is, oh, this is, I'm sorry, this is a current observation. Its datum is from CHS local chart datum, and you have the tide curves on here. So this is where we are right now, and this is the tide coming up. There's going to be a high tide, and then a local, like a light low tide, and then a high tide again, and a big change down to the low tide. There's a 24-hour span is what's done here. Also, and I'll show this to you, there's a current stuff. Let me get a current gauge. They're diamonds, and you'll find one here. They tend to be to the side, you'll notice, the current and tide information. So this is the second arrow's tide information, and this is the information for it. Now here you'll notice it's a prediction with harmonics. This is not a measurement. And this is the information for the forecast. So right now it's 3.4 knots at 90 degrees, which is to the right, which is flood. Yeah, flood, it says right here. And there's when you're expecting the next slack, which is at 4 p.m. A lot of information here. And again, you can click on any spot and identify the aggregate data with the forecasts. We're actually in the process of updating the forecast to include current and wave data in the forecast, so that, and observations, so that you really have one pop-up that does everything. All right, thank you very much for having a look at this product with us. And that analysis that we did right here cost, 0.4 points roughly, and the ratio right now is 10 points per dollar. So the cost of this analysis was, let's call it 40 centipoints, 0.4 times 10, which is 4 cents, to give you an idea of the cost of the tool.